Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now, by popular request, we will be having a look at the Power Man, Luke Cage. Now, in this video, we'll start off by having a look at a general overview for him, and this includes where you go to unlock, and we also check out his tags because these are relevant when it comes to what campaigns he can help out in. We then have a look at his stats, follow that up by checking out his abilities. We then look at the synergies. This is teams that you can work well against and also characters you want to avoid when you're playing as them. And then we finish up by seeing where he places in the tier list, and I think that's the bit that everyone's always interested in and it always drives the most comments. This should be an interesting one anyway, but first off we'll start up with the general overview of him. When it comes to Luke Cage, then he is a protector class, and given the fact he's got bulletproof skin, he really would have to be this particular class type. Now, when we do look at the tags, it's Hero, City, Bio, Protector and Defender. Hero 1's relevant to the Hero campaign, of course, and you unlock them very early to help you get through that. I believe that we will get some events based around the City tag as well, so that's something to look out for. We then have the Defender tag, so you can team them up with Jessica Jones, Daredevil and Iron Fist. They are a team that can work to an extent, but when I've tried them myself I feel that we really struggle from a lack of cleanse and also buffs or debuffs on them. You don't really have slow down or speed up or anything, but that's where if you drop Quake into the team that can help out. But it is something we'll touch on a lot more once we do get to the synergies section. Now, in regards to unlocking him, he has a nice easy farm because you first get access to his node. It's Heroes 3.3 nice and early, and you can actually buy shards for him through the Blitz mode as well. So if you get lucky and you're doing well in Blitz, you can get 15 shards a day from that, and then let's just say on average you could be getting hopefully round about 5 shards from the Heroes story mode as well. So that's 20 shards a day, so you can get them ranked up really nice and quick. Now, what we'll check out next anyway is we'll have a quick look at his stats. For the stats then, we have 6 in total we look at. We've got 3 offensive stats and 3 defensive stats, and these are based on a scale of A to F. So the first set we look at will be the offensive stats. Being a protector class then, Luke Cage really doesn't fare too well when it comes to the offensive stats. We look at damage, speed and focus, and they're actually all way down at F. Now, ones that can be relevant is the speed, because with tanks, we've mentioned this in earlier videos, with tanks you don't want them to be too slow, because if they get stunned or they get slowed down then it's going to be a long time before they're actually doing anything like potentially providing defense up or taunting as well. So you would want to pair him up with someone that can pull his speed up a little bit. I find with tanks I like if they can hit round about the C or D. It means they're not too fast that they're losing their taunt early, but they're quick enough to respond when you do need them as well. Now, one thing that can help out his damage a little bit, but we don't worry about it too much because he is a protector, is that in his kit he actually has ally assist, a bit like Kingpin. So with this, when you actually attack you have a chance of an ally assisting as well. So if you're pairing him with a high damage team, then you're hopefully adding in a nice bit of extra damage there. But what we'll check out next, and this is the more interesting part for him being a protector class, is the defensive stats. When it comes to the defensive stats, on first glance he may look a little bit underwhelming because he's got health at C, armour which is A is nice, but if you've got someone with high pierce then that can just work its way through that and give you a lot of problems. And then his resistance is E, making him more susceptible to stuns and slows and other debuffs. Now, with the health being C, if we think back to the Captain America preview, he's a fantastic tank, and I think his health was C or D as well. It was really quite low, but it doesn't matter if you've got other things in your kit to actually make up for it. And on the subject of that, we'll actually quickly check them out now. So we can see you can gain an additional 15% max health. You can get 5% max health per defender ally, so that can be up to 3 of them, meaning that you can gain 30% max health, which definitely pulls him up to a B, may even be an A. I've not done the maths on it just yet. And then he has regenerate, defense up and also death proof, so he really has fully stacked there. Now what we'll do next is we'll check out the abilities and we can see where all these things actually fit into his kit. For the abilities then, we'll have a look at his basic, special, ultimate and also his passive. Now when we talk about each of them, I'll bring up a tooltip. It will show off the ability at max level, but what I'll actually do is I'll let you know if it is worthwhile maxing out that particular ability, or if you want to stop a little bit earlier, because some of them don't actually scale that well. Now when we look at the passive, this is Power Man, so you gain 5% max health per defender ally, you gain 5% armour, and you can also get up to 15% max health here. So as mentioned a moment ago, if you run with the full defenders team and you have this maxed out, he's gaining an additional 30% health, which is really pretty huge. This particular one, if you're using Cage as one of your main tanks, I would say it is worthwhile maxing out. For his basic, we have his only damage skill here. This is called Beat Up, and with this you attack the primary target for 330% damage, and you have a 30% chance for a hero ally to assist. So as mentioned, if he's paired up with some hard hitters, then you can add some nice damage there. Now this particular skill, personally I would only really take it up to about level 5 and save your tier 3 mats. The reason for that is you'll still retain the 30% chance for a hero ally to assist, and it's your allies that will be doing more damage than actually Luke Cage. That's not his role. His role is to protect your team. But what we'll check out now will be his special skill. With this next skill, this is where things really do get interesting with Cage. Now this is called Bring It On, and as is the case with most if not all protector classes, the special skill is the taunt. So it takes 4 turns to charge, but it comes fully charged, so you can use it at the start of a fight if you so wish. Now with this you taunt for 2 turns. There's no other protector class in the game that's able to do that. Kingpin can call in 2 minions that have a taunt each, but there's no other class that can do 2 taunts on that specific character, so that is really nice. Now on top of this, he'll regenerate for 2 turns as well, so that's perfect. He's getting characters focusing on him, but he's also regaining health as well when his next turn comes round. Now you'll also clear all negative effects himself if you max this out, but personally I would say take it to level 6, because at level 6 you still get the 2 turns of taunt and regen, and the only thing it changes is rather than clearing all negative effects himself, you simply clear 2 negative effects himself, and that's still really pretty nice. For the ultimate, we have a great skill here. This is called Unbreakable. Now it takes 5 turns to charge and comes fully charged, so this means at the start of a fight you have the option of using the special for the taunt or using the ultimate for the defense up and other buffs it applies. Now personally I like to run Cage with another tank, and what that means is if you're running with a tank that's got a high health pool but doesn't have defense up, such as Thanos or Drax, they can apply taunt. Cage can then apply defense up to them, and then in the next round Cage will still have defense up if you've leveled this up, and then he can apply the taunt, which works out perfectly. Now looking at the actual ability, you gain defense up on self for 2 turns, you apply defense up on all allies, that's really nice, you gain death proof on self, and you also generate between 1 to 3 ability energy for a random ally. Now this skill I would recommend taking it up to level 6, because the only thing that changes is the ability energy that you generate moves from 1 to 3 down to 1 to 2, and because it's going to a random ally, it's not a massive issue if a random person gets 1 less energy, and it is on a scale anyway, so it could come out as 1, so most definitely save your crafting materials and don't go upgrading that to max it out. But next up, with all the abilities covered, we'll check out the synergies. When it comes to allies that Luke Cage can work well with, to be honest, he can really fit into any team and add value, but ones in particular that really stand out would be the defenders first, of course. So Jessica Jones, Daredevil and Iron Fist, if you ran with all 3 of them, you'd be getting that bonus 15% health from his passive once that was maxed out. When we look at the defenders individually, Jessica Jones doesn't actually offer anything specific to him, which is a bit strange considering the relationship. She does give additional resistance to all allies, but Cage's resistance is so low that this additional resistance really doesn't make much of a difference. Daredevil can work nice because he actually gives 5% attack speed to defenders, and Luke Cage is a bit slow, so it pulls him up. And then Iron Fist, as much as I really don't like the character, he can provide a 15% heal. It's on a 20% chance for it to happen. If it did happen in Cage, fantastic, but you've got that 20% chance, and then you've got the fact that it could apply to 4 different allies as well, so it's not really that useful there. Now, other characters that you can work really well with would be other tanks, particularly ones that don't have defense up, because that is their one weakness. Generally they'll have a high health pool or resistance to make up for the fact they don't have defense up, so if you can add Luke Cage in, they add that on top of their already high health pool. So examples would be Drax and Thanos. Another tank that can work really nice with them would be Captain America, because Captain America can give allies energy and Luke Cage can do it as well. So if you maybe paired them up with, off the top of my head, let's say Rocket, Quake and also Crossbones, who all require high energy but have devastating ultimates, that could really be pretty potent. And then the final character that fits in with most teams would be Black Widow, because you could do with the speed up to get your speed a little bit higher, possibly to round about the D rating. Now next up, we'll check out enemies that you want to avoid. When we look at characters you want to avoid when you're playing as Luke Cage, the first one would be Elektra. The reason being that on her basic she has a bleed, and when she uses this on a defender ally, when it's maxed out, she can apply 3 stacks of bleeds. That'd be 30% of the health, so that could be really dangerous there. Now, other characters you have to watch out for, because he has the relatively low health pool, but he's got the high armour to make up for it, is characters that have Pierce, because that works its way through the armour. So that would include Hawkeye, Wolverine, Yondu and Black Panther. Now Hawkeye can be particularly dangerous because on his special he can strip a character of all their buffs. So the whole thing with Luke Cage is he's all about stacking all the different buffs on himself, and Hawkeye with one move could remove all of them. Yondu can be dangerous as well, because on turn he has a chance to actually strip buffs from characters as well, and he's also got the fact he can do that on his basic. Now with all that covered anyway, what we'll do is we'll see where he places on the tier list. For this tier list here then, we've got 5 different ratings, the strongest one being on the left, that's a mega class. As we work our way from left to right, the characters get progressively weaker until we're all the way down to level 1. Don't have any level 1s or level 2s yet, but we'll cover them in time to give you an idea of how they actually play. Now in regards to Luke Cage, I think a lot of people may be surprised by this, but I do feel that he is an alpha class character. Now the reason for that is he's got a lot of pros going for him and he's got very few cons, and he can actually fit into it and add value to just about any team. Now when we look at the pros, he's got that double taunt, which is fantastic, and as mentioned no one else has that. He's also got the 2 turns of regen when he puts that taunt up, and he's got clear all effects, so he can get rid of slow and so on, because he then won't be too slow with his F rating for speed and the slow on top of it. He can clear that off. He's got defense up for 2 turns as well, as giving it 2 allies, death proof, and he's also generating ability energy, so he really is a good character. There's no way I would feel that he would be a level 3 character with how much he's offering here. The cons for him would be the fact that he does have low damage, but he's a protector class, he shouldn't be doing damage, and he's got that slightly lower resistance there as well, which can make him susceptible to stuns and slows. But if you paired him up with Jessica, who would give him 5% extra health, she can actually clear debuffs from allies. Another thing that's not the greatest on him is that he gains a lot from pairing him up with defenders in the game, but the defenders in the game aren't really massively strong at the moment, so I wouldn't say it's worthwhile shoehorning them into defenders team just for that extra health, because I think what you gain in health you lose in other ways, so that is something to bear in mind. But I hope, as always, this particular video has been useful. I'm looking forward to the comments in this one due to the rating, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.